Presenting The Wave by LA Top Team.
What's up, everybody? Thank you again for joining us on The Wave. Super excited to bring you this very real estate based episode of The Wave. On this episode, we're joined by everything realtor Jamie Tian. She's been featured by all the top real estate websites as a top 1% producer. Realtor Magazine ranked her 30 under 30, and I'm sure most of the listeners have already heard of her before she came onto the show. She's a Southern California product, born in Irvine, decided to go to UCLA for school. She studied environmental studies, and as a senior, she decided to start real estate and hung her license with Rodeo Realty, one of the most prominent brokers for high-end real estate on the west side. She has crazy work ethic. She's a one-woman show, and she does everything herself. She has a little bit of coordination help on the paperwork side, but content-wise, it's all her brainchild and it's all her work ethic that puts all that content out. So it's amazing to see somebody of her stature being able to do it alone and be able to come in here and visit with us and kind of shoot the shit as well. She has a social media built business, and you guys are going to hear that. I don't want to give too much away about it, but it's kind of been a part of her business since day one. So I want you to pay attention there. And quick note, we had a little bit of a hiccup with the saving of the audio. We worked with what we had and we put out a great show. Super excited for this episode. It was awesome to sit down with Jamie. And if you haven't gathered by now, she's a super smart, driven, hardworking realtor who's leveraging the shit out of social media right now. So I can definitely say with confidence that this episode will not be the last that you hear of Jamie Tian being tied in with high-end real estate, especially on social media. So that being said, sit back, chill out, and enjoy the episode. If you got any feedback, let us know what you think. You know where to find us, and we'll check in next time. Technology is kind of moving forward. Aside from getting ranked in the top 1% of all producers by Zillow and Redfin, which is kind of not in your control, that's how many deals you close.
Right.
What have you been doing to kind of keep up with the times? The changes in real estate,
Yeah,
you know?
Definitely. So I do a lot of marketing on social media, so that Facebook, Instagram, a little bit on Snapchat and LinkedIn. So it's a great way to reach out to my circle of influence, but also get new clients and new followers as well. And I market all of my properties on there, and on a day-to-day basis, I'll show the properties that I'm showing or what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's kind of interesting because I'll actually have random people or past clients, they'll see properties that I'm showing, and it's almost like they're there, and they'll be like, oh, that's something that I might be interested in too.
Right.
Can you send me the MLS sheet, or send me more details, or send me some other things in that area? So it's kind of cool. You can keep in touch with your clients, but it's kind of like a less in your face, like, getting on the phone and calling them and say, hey, do you still want to buy a property?
Right.
It's kind of cool, yeah. So I do that. And then technology, video is huge now. We're just talking about video. And so in terms of marketing properties, we do like drone videos and virtual property tours, because I do work with a lot of overseas clients, and sometimes they're not able to come in person to view it. So
right.
You can kind of see the property in advance online.
I definitely want to touch on some of those overseas clients. So when you say that you had to build you're able to keep in contact with your sphere of influence, is that something that you've built, or did you start with that? Are you from LA? You've known people here and kind of came up in LA?
I'm originally from Irvine, Orange
cool.
County. I went to UCLA, so after UCLA I stayed in Los Angeles. So I'm not originally from LA, but I'm from the area, and I do a little bit of business in Orange County as well, like referral base and things like that. But honestly, when I started, I was 21 years old. I was fresh out of college. So I had my circle of influence, but they were like maybe my parents' friends or family friends, and my personal friends weren't really ready to buy property yet. But now a lot of my friends are starting to get to the point where they're buying their first properties, first condos and homes. And then as I continue to build my client base and they refer me to their friends and family, my circle of influence continues to grow. So I think it's huge.
So you were studying was it environmental studies?
Yeah, so I studied environmental science and sustainability, and then my focus was on sustainable architecture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then you started seeing what got you interested in buying and selling real estate from that?
Well, it was kind of, it wasn't really from that. I've always been interested in real estate. So when I was younger, on weekends, my parents would always take me to open houses, and I love talking to the realtors and just asking them all kinds of questions about the property, about the price, and that's kind of how I got into it. I always wanted to get my real estate license on the side, and I thought that it could be like a side thing. I would help my parents out if they, make a little extra money, needed to buy or sell, do a rental property. But after I got my license, when I was a senior at UCLA. At the time, I was planning to go to law school, so I was also doing LSATs and all that. I applied and everything. I got into a couple of law schools, and then my plan was still to go to law school and do the real estate thing part-time on the side. But I kind of dove into it. I joined Rodeo Realty, the firm that I'm still working at now, and my business started to kick off, and I really enjoyed it. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do the law school thing anymore, and I don't think it's possible to do at the same time. So I decided to kind of go full-time into real estate and just dive headfirst in there, and that's kind of how it started.
And so you've been passionate about real estate from the start. Your folks used to take you to the open houses, so it wasn't much of a surprise to them when you said, real estate's going to be my direction?
No, it was definitely a surprise for them. They were like, well, why don't you do what we said? Like, we're gonna do it on the side and go to law school.
Right.
And I was like, no, I think I want to give this a shot. I think I'm good at it. And it's working, and I'm making money, and I enjoy it so much. So I just went for it.
And you kind of went 0 to 100 quick, it looks like, because you were a top producer in 13, 14, 15, on.
Sure, yeah. Thank you
so basically, right when you got in, you're hitting, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, first few months were, I was trying to get my first couple of deals, but once I got a little bit of momentum, it just kind of went from there, and business has been, like, skyrocketing, so.
Well, lucky you. So, Rodeo Realty, and your story actually sounds similar to Sid's, Leibovich.
It is kind of similar,
you know, because so I actually have a history with him because someone who mentored me through college at USC, very good friends with him, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do at sort of a down point in my life, and long story short, he introduced me to Sid. I went to Sid's office, and Sid said, I ran cross country at UCLA, and I said, cool, did you finish? He said, no, I sold 2 houses and dropped out, and I started a brokerage, and I said, wow.
I know, it's crazy, right? He tells the story that he started the brokerage in his garage of his parents' house. I mean, that's a big risk that he took. I didn't drop out. I did finish. I don't think my parents would have.
But you didn't do the law school thing. You said, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing.
I decided not to go to law school maybe like a week or 2 before school started. I was all set to go. Everything was ready to go. Scared to tell my parents.
Ooh. Did you ask for advice from Sid?
No, I mean I didn't even know Sid at the time.
Didn't know yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah.
So we used to say all everything in football. When I look at your accolades, you're all everything. All city, all county, all state. Blah, blah, blah. What office are you actually with? Is it the Beverly Hills Rodeo office?
I work both out of the Beverly Hills and the Sunset Strip office. My actual physical office location is in the Sunset Strip office. So it's right on Sunset in Doheny. Below Soho House and above Boa Steakhouse.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your team makeup. Who makes up your team? Did you start your team? Did you join a team?
Well, I work independently. I'm an independent agent. I do have support and marketing and transaction coordinating and things like that. And then I often work with Ben Bacall. He's a pretty big agent in Los Angeles. You've probably heard of him. So we work on some of the listings together as well.
Cool. I love to hear that because I'm a one-man show myself. This is a small office, as you see. I do everything out of here. I'm not a one-man show. I get all kinds of help from Kate. But as far as the real estate side, I was telling you how I'm filling out my own avids right now and my own papers. So it's good to hear that somebody as successful as yourself still does that. As well.
Yeah, I still do all my own avids.
Good.
I still, I do all the appointments, all the showings myself. Most of the time, I do occasionally get help on open houses. But it's definitely getting to the point that I may need to grow my team a little bit soon.
Well, I mean, technology allows you to automate a lot of the things.
Yeah.
You can put it into a process or procedure. You can automate it with
definitely.
a little bit of help.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of options overseas, remote help, things like that to keep it cheap. So, I mean, I don't know. I really admire that you've been able to keep it such a small team and do so many deals.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about how you got into kind of the high-end overseas market. How'd you get that link up? Obviously, you're bilingual, trilingual?
Bilingual. So I speak Chinese.
Okay.
So that was definitely a huge thing. I think I jumped into the market kind of at the right time as well. At the time the market was starting to recover from the recession, and a lot of overseas investors from China were coming over. And I think in West LA, especially, there's not a lot of Chinese realtors. I know on the east side, there was a lot of Chinese realtors, but
I'm from Diamond Bar.
Oh, you are?
I'm from Diamond
So
Bar.
over there, there's
Ooh.
everyone's Chinese,
Yeah.
but on the west side, Beverly Hills, Sunset Strip, Hollywood Hills, there weren't really many Chinese realtors. So I got lucky, I think, in that perspective. And a lot of Chinese investors were coming, and they needed help, and they need that bilingual help, and I was there for them. So a couple of my first big clients just found me on Facebook. I had a client that found me on Facebook. He bought a $5.9 million house, and then in the Beverly Hills Flats, and then he bought a $4.5 million land property like the same year shortly after. And then, so that kind of kick-started my luxury market when I
Did you
sold
believe
him.
it? When he's like, yeah, I'll buy it, were you like...
I mean, it was kind of crazy. He came, I showed him a couple of houses, and then
So he came over,
He
not
came
sight
over.
unseen.
Okay, so he came over. It's kind of a weird story. So he came over, showed him a couple houses, and then he left. Right, and I was like, oh man, I didn't sell him anything, right?
Mhm.
Then he called me and was like, I'm gonna make an offer on a house that we haven't seen. I'm like, okay.
With me?
With me, yeah. So I'm like, okay, great. And then I made an offer on it. We negotiated the deal, and then he purchased it sight unseen. I'm like, do you need to do inspections? He's like, no, I'm good. Like, I just want it for the land value. So it was kind of funny that
Dope.
happened.
So that was your kickoff into the high end.
Yeah, so once
overseas
that
deal?
happened, I started, getting more clients once I started seeing me actually have a track record of higher end homes, and then I got some referrals and.
Well, I mean, there's something to be said about that. So you're known as sort of a high end luxury overseas link, and you got your first deal from Facebook.
Yeah.
How about that? That goes to show how you can start a career and keep it going with the help of social media.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the time I couldn't afford marketing, and so I just did what was free. So social
Right.
media, things like that, and once you get going, you can obviously expand your marketing into other areas. But yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, was it discouraging at first when we all started business, we weren't drumming up much, was it discouraging when you were figuring out what content to come up with or what really you were going to post, or was it pretty natural in thinking, I'm just going to show what I do and I do what I do, so whatever?
Yeah, I mean, at the time it was kind of scary. I wouldn't say discouraging, but it was scary because I didn't know what I was doing, and a lot of agents at that time weren't using Facebook and
Right.
social media in that way. I think at the time the older realtors, even my office manager and everyone would tell me, Jamie, you can't sell homes from behind the computer. You need to get out on the pavement and hit the pavement. And I was like, well, I mean, I have like this thing that I can use. So I was like, I'm just gonna start posting things and writing blogs and doing things like that. And then it started working. And then even my office manager was like, I changed my mind now. He's like, you can sell homes from behind the computer.
That's
So
right.
he even tells people now when he hires, like he tells them like, talk to Jamie because she knows about that. And it's kind of interesting how that worked out. But definitely at the time, some of the older agents thought it was inappropriate even to use social media in that way. But now I think everyone does. So just a few years later. So
Yeah, that I told you so is so sweet
Yeah.
on the way out. Ooh, it tastes so good, doesn't it?
yeah, definitely.
So, based on where it's been since you got in 2013?
2012, end of 2012, yeah.
Okay, and that was sort of, I wrote an article on it as that being kind of the start of agents using social media.
Yeah, definitely.
So, since that was the start and you kind of led that charge, where do you think it's going to be going in the next few years? Do you think...
I think it's only going to grow bigger and bigger for
Right.
sure. I mean, now I think it's almost like essential, not just a tool, but everyone has to use it. Because I mean, how can you compete with everyone else that is using it if you don't,
You can't.
right?
And you have big corporations, Zillow, Redfin, everything like that, using technology, I feel, trying to edge out the middleman who's the realtor who doesn't know how to leverage that.
Yeah.
They give us the tools, like obviously they give us great tools to help market ourselves and get business, but if you don't want to use that, you're going to be attritioned
You're gonna be
out.
left behind
Yeah, you're
for
going to
sure.
be cut out for sure.
Yeah.
So you think that's going to be going on with the market or with the industry? What about the market? Do you see anything crazy? I mean, we're not fortune tellers by any means, and we've only been in it less than 5 years. Club
Yeah.
coming up on 5 years here. So, what do you think is going to happen with the market?
I think the market right now is still good. I think I don't see any reason why it would go down like it did back then. You know, there needs to be some kind of trigger.
Right, like
so
subprime lending, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the lending is now stricter than ever. I'm sure you deal with every day. The underwriting is like insanely
right.
Strict. So I think that they're doing a good job in trying to prevent that from happening again. And I think that there's still demand right now. You know, I'm going out with my buyers. We're still seeing. Last week I had a property that we made an offer on, 17 offers. So I mean, I'm still seeing multiple offers, especially with the first-time home buyer price range.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see the inventory so low and so many offers, so many buyers, I don't see any reason for the market to go down, at least in the next few years.
100% agree.
Yeah.
It's like, what's going to cause it? You know, like if something catastrophic could cause it, obviously that's out of our control. But market-wise, I don't see any swings happening.
Yeah.
Super competitive out there,
Right.
and people are figuring out how to make more money, even though they may not be getting it from their job. So I think, and more creative loans are coming out for people our age as well.
Yeah.
They understand, like, okay, he or she may have a different work background. They don't understand, like, yeah, I'm a realtor. I got one check in the last 6 months, but it was like $94,000 on a commission.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And now there's all sorts of loans to help people like that, or alternative stuff, tattoo artists, people who sell stuff on Etsy, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't think anything's going to be happening.
Totally agree.
You know? What do you think is your favorite deal so far out of all the ones you've done?
My favorite deal.
Yeah, and not for any, I mean, if it's for money, great, tell me, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for both. This beginning of this year, I sold a home in Beverly Hills for $7.5 million. It was a great property. I was really proud of it because I had negotiated it down from $8,760, so I got $1,650,000 off the price for my clients. But it was a 8.5 month escrow.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a really long escrow. It was really difficult. First we got first it was like a really long negotiation process. We finally got the negotiations set and into contract. We gave them a deposit, everything like that. But my client actually had it contingent on selling their home.
Okay.
So they had a $3.5 million home that they were trying to sell. So I hadn't even put it on the market yet, and I somehow convinced that seller to take our offer contingent upon that home selling. And she was kind of a little bit more flexible because she also didn't know where she was going at the time. So she's like, okay, I'll take the time to actually find out my next property as well. It kind of works out perfectly for everyone. So finally we put our home on the market. Then I'm like scrambling around trying to sell this home, and it was super stressful. You know, my clients calling me every week, is it selling? Why is it not selling? So maybe a month or so later we sold that home, and then we were ready to close, but then the seller was saying, well, I mean, it's kind of not fair because I haven't found my home, and I gave you as much time as you needed to sell your home, so now you have to give me as much time as I need to find my home.
Right.
So then we had to figure out her home. I mean, I wasn't representing that seller, so her agent had to find her a home, and then it was really hard to find her a home because she was really picky. And then to keep my clients in escrow, we had to keep releasing money. So they would release like $1 million and just keep releasing money.
Damn.
And it was all cash deals. So they just kept releasing money and putting more money into escrow. And it was really stressful. Everyone was like, is it going to close? Is it not going to close? I just remember, 8 months later when it finally closed, I was like, that was the longest deal ever. But it was really, really worth it. It was really exciting,
Right. So you sold the house and got the listing out of it. How did the sale go that you were nervous about, the original home?
Yeah, I mean, that was really nerve-wracking because, the seller, of course, wanted a higher price, and then we had to start a little higher and then lowered a little bit. But it was good. We got, somehow, amazingly, they were all cash deals. That one was a cash deal, too, so we didn't have to deal with loans.
Right.
But
that helps a lot in the
that helps
negotiation.
a lot, yeah.
Because that's how I go. I mean, not quite on the scale of you, but I've just realized when you come with cash, it just helps so much with the negotiation.
It does, especially it's definitely when you have multiple offers, but also when you're doing something special, like saying, I need to have it contingent on selling my own home. Having cash is definitely attractive, and then if you're able to, release a large deposit, it shows that you're really serious, right?
Right.
So obviously the seller's always worried that you're going to back out or you're not going to be able to sell your home. But if you say release $1 million cash, and then the seller's going to think, well, I mean, worst case scenario, you guys back out, I have $1 million now, and I still have my home to sell.
Right.
So it's really a no-brainer at that point.
Right. So you touched on kind of the creativity that you use with the cash buyers. tell me a little bit about it. I mean, it sounds like you'll kind of do everything. 'Cause you talked about the 8-month escrow where you release more funds and do this. What are like some of the basic stipulations that you'll go with? Like, okay, was it a big deposit? Is it releasing, X amount again after
Yeah,
something
definitely.
contingency period or something?
Right, so you may have like a shorter contingency period at first. Once you get through inspections and everything and you're okay with the condition of the property, if you want to, if you need more time in escrow and you want to keep the property in escrow, but you want to keep the seller, happy, you kind of have to release money basically. So you release money to them, non-refundable, and then they know it's secure and they're happy, yeah.
That's creative and gutsy.
Yeah.
You know what? It takes serious guts from the buyer, but
Definitely.
if they know they want it.
But if they know that they want it and they're, able and willing, then it's kind of a...
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you say, obviously you've had a few, but what is one that comes to mind when I say an I can't believe it moment, either good or bad? Like, I can't believe I got that phone call, I can't believe I lost that deal, can't believe I closed that deal. I know you told 2 awesome stories. One of those stories might kind of fall into that category, but when I ask you the I can't believe it moment that you've had in your career, what would you say comes to mind?
I had one client who called me and said, hey, I'm coming to LA I'm only going to be here for like 3 or 4 days, and I need to find a property. And he said, I'm calling 2 different agents. I'm going to look at properties with you one day, and I'm going to look at properties with another agent the other day, and then whoever shows me the property that is right for me gets the deal, right? And I'm like, and I'm like, I want the first day, right? So I scheduled the first day. It was like literally that morning they arrived from the airport. I met them and then took them to look, and I was like, I'm going to show them as many properties as I can. I showed them, I think, 12 or 13 properties in a row. I mean, we had like 6 viewings, did lunch, and then did 6 or 7 more. They were literally sleeping in my car in between every showing because they were jet lagged. I just kept going. I'm like, no, we have to finish. At the end of the day, they were like, we really liked one of the properties. They're like, we're going to cancel the second day with the other realtor, and tomorrow let's go back and look at it again. And then they ended up making an offer, and it was like a $2 million sale in one day. It was the longest day of my life. It was insane.
And that was the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
You're already established. You say, you know what, let's do this. 12-hour day, gear up and go.
Yeah.
And then cue happy dance at the end.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. So it was definitely a good sale, but it was really shocking. I didn't think, when he called me and said like, oh, I'm going to do one day with you, one day with the other, I was like, oh,
At least he was straight up. And
yes, I was like, well, I appreciate you for being straight up, and then I was just like, I got to be the first one in.
So it sounds like you put in long hours, obviously, based on that. You're willing to do it, but when you're not in the office or out of the office working on real estate, what are some things that you enjoy doing?
Well, I have 2 little dogs. They're both Malteses. One is 3 pounds and one's about 2.5 pounds. So I like to hang out with them and take them out for a walk. I'm really into fitness and working out, so I try to work out 5 to 6 days a week.
What sort of workouts?
I do both lifting and cardio. So I love cycling, and I'll ride my bike to the beach, and then try to lift for like 30 minutes a day.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's a lot, 5-6 times a week.
Yeah.
Committed. So you like hanging out with your dogs, working out.
Yeah.
A lot of work stuff other than that.
Yeah, and then I'm also kind of a big foodie, so I love trying new restaurants, and that's kind of what I do for fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything notable as of late? What's your most recent favorite?
I just went to this like little bar called Pump in West Hollywood, and I never even knew that it was like a restaurant. It's like I always thought it was like a lounge bar, but I went there and it was really beautiful. The decor is super pretty, and then the food was really good. So yeah, that was cool.
I wrote that down, Pump. And
Yeah.
what about maybe a restaurant that you keep up your sleeve, secret from people, that's like the spot, the back pocket restaurant?
Back pocket restaurant. I don't know. Well, my favorite restaurant is Cut. It's kind of a more expensive steakhouse, but it's like a special occasion place, so I'll take clients there when I close a really good deal. It's at the Beverly Wilshire, and it's a Wolfgang Puck Steakhouse, so that's like my favorite. I love their
High-end
Wagyu,
steaks.
yeah.
Cool. So as we finish out this year and we're kind of heading into next year, what are your plans personally and for your business, and maybe some goals as we turn into 2018? You're talking about maybe bringing somebody on.
Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe bringing on teammates. I'm I'm starting to get a lot more leads, so I can't handle the volume anymore. So I think maybe I can bring on some teammates to help out with some showings or open houses and things like that. But yeah, I mean, goals are just to get more listings and more clients and just get more business.
Cool. I mean, that's always hard to do as an independent contractor, figure out where you're going to bring help on, how they're going to be compensated and what they're going to do.
Well, not only that, for me the problem is I've actually been kind of thinking about it for a long time, but it's very hard to find someone that you trust, that you can expect to give the same level of customer service that you expect to give to your clients. Not only that, but also, I mean, when you're hiring someone, their goal eventually is probably to go off on their own, so they're going to kind of take everything that you spent all this time training them and teaching them, and then, you know, they might just leave after 6 months. So you kind of have to find that personality that maybe isn't a big risk taker. They don't want to go off on their own, but they like to have that kind of a position where they're working under someone and it may be more stability but in income, but yeah, so it's like you have to find the right personality that meshes with you and meshes for your business, and you know, there's a lot of points there. So I'm not going to bring anyone on until I find someone that's perfect for me. I'd rather, I mean, at this point I'm just working more hours myself, and I think I'm pretty efficient, so I can handle it.
Right. No, I hear you.
Yeah.
You're leveraging technology.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
And no rush, like you said, there's no rush.
Right.
It's all about finding the right person, because you want to be able to trust who you're bringing on and really give them a meaningful role, and that includes access to private stuff.
Yeah.
And not only that, but techniques that you developed and you know, stuff that you like, stuff that works for you. And you're always scared that they're going to take it, so you got to be slow in that, making that hire, you know. Real quick, if you weren't a top producing agent, what do you think you'd be? I mean, have you put much thought into it?
I don't know. If you mean if it hadn't worked out?
Yeah, if it hadn't worked out.
Honestly, I probably would have went back to school probably would have went back to law school and then maybe have tried that route.
Been an attorney?
Yeah, but I did work in a law firm for a few years during college, and I mean, it's a grind. It's kind of a whole different world, and that's why after working in the law firm for 2 years, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go that route. I mean, it just seems so stressful. And I love being a real estate agent because I get to meet new people every day. It's different every day, so I'm excited to get up in the morning, and I don't think I would want a job that's like in an office, sitting there all day, you know, so.
I mean, how structured is your daily schedule? Are you like 6 to 9 is my morning routine, don't talk to me? Is that a very important part of your day? Is it, or is it, you say every day is different, and that's why I asked.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard to
my
structure.
day is not very structured. I mean, every day is different, right? Some days I have early appointments, some days I have later appointments. If I don't have an appointment in the morning, I try to like fit in a quick workout, and then I jump on emails and lead follow-up and things like that. But then sometimes the entire day is just filled with running around, and I, you know,
can't do what
can't
you
really
wrote down.
do what I wrote down. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that when you got an awesome list of things to do, but being in real estate, things happen, and you gotta make a showing, you gotta go see a listing.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
so many last minute things too that you think that you have your whole day planned out, and then you end up doing something completely different. Yeah.
Well, that's why I figured I'd ask if you had it figured out, because I don't.
No.
So okay, well that makes me feel a little bit better
Yeah.
at least. Are you doing just your own content and following, or are you putting ads behind it, ad dollars behind it, creating campaigns and stuff like that?
I mean, in terms of like everyday posts and things like that, it's just my own content. In terms of marketing listings, I do put ad dollars behind it. We'll market open houses, and Facebook's really cool because you can target certain demographics or audiences or, you know, geographic locations. So if I have a big open house coming up, I might do a Facebook ad, target, you know, a couple mile radius around there. You can even put people interested in real estate or buyers and things like that. Yeah.
And it's done pretty well for you, those hyper targeted ads?
It's, you know, it's hard to tell because when you're marketing a listing, you're doing LA Times ads, you're doing Facebook ads, you're doing social media ads, you're doing email blasts, and I mean, you try to ask where the leads are coming from, but it's kind of hard to tell.
It's kind of hard to see.
I mean, everything's working, so I think that you can't really go away from it either. Yeah.
Now, how do you create how do you portray successfully the image of your day-to-day activity without putting out meaningless content. You know what I'm saying? How do you put much thought into, okay, you know, this quarter, this month, this thing, I think I need to get this message across, I'd like to show this, or is it completely organic and, you know, I'm gonna film myself doing this today?
I think
and
it's
then hope it doesn't
it's
come out
more,
bad.
it's more organic. I just kind of do whatever I'm doing on a daily basis, and I mean, I kind of see what works and what doesn't work, and kind of adapt from there.
Mhm.
But I don't really plan out the social media that much.
I hear you. I mean, it's hard, especially as a realtor, because you don't know what's coming up.
Yeah.
So I guess just themes. I try to stick to themes is the best thing that I could come up with, you know. So where can a lot of people find you online? Where's your hub where people can see your listings, find out about you as a person, see projects you have coming up, read the blogs that you're talking about?
Yeah, my website is just jamietian.com. So that's my website, has all my listings, my sales, and my blog and everything. But my Instagram, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, I kind of post on there all the time. So I kind of use that to my advantage, and anywhere that you follow me on social media, you'll probably pretty much see everything that I'm doing day to day or week to week basis.
And which one's your favorite one to use out of those? Are you up on the most?
I like Instagram. I like it because, especially, they have the new stories feature, so you can kind of post what you're doing on a daily basis. You can go live. But LinkedIn is really cool because it's more of a official, more professional referral network. So each one is different, right? So you can use it.
LinkedIn's been making a huge push lately.
Yeah.
I've been spending a lot more time on it because of their article publishing and just all the different stuff that they've added to help real business connections. I think is awesome. So I've actually been spending a lot more time on that in the last 3 months than ever.
Yeah, it's great because I think people that are on LinkedIn are a little bit more serious and professional versus Instagram is great too, but then also there's a lot more people that are just on there for fun, so
cool.
they're different.
Are you gonna be having any open houses coming up that we can advertise that you want people maybe showing up to? Anything off the top of the head? I'm just giving you a chance
I have
to
a new listing coming up in the Hollywood Hills. I'm really excited for. I'm still waiting for the family to get their. It's like an estate, so they're getting everything cleaned out and ready to go. But it's going to be coming on the market pretty soon, and it's in the Hollywood Hills East area, in the Outpost area. So definitely keep an eye out on my social media, and when I'm able to post the address and everything, I'll do that.
Yeah, when we see you listed, we'll repost it and put it on our
thank you
stories
so
and all that
much.
stuff.
I really appreciate it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And if you, now, having all the success you've had, could tell yourself at 21 when you were a senior, or 22, 3 or 2 or 1 bit of advice, what would it be to have success in the real estate industry?
I think just like be confident and stick to what you're doing. I think when I first started out, I was a little like all over the place, and I would try things for like a week or 2, and it's not working, and then I try something else, and I switch, and I think in real estate everything works as long as you're consistent and you stick to it. So you can't you can't spread yourself too thin. You have to pick the things that you like to do. It may not be the same thing that another realtor likes to do. It may not work for you, it may work for them, but pick the ones that you like and stick to it, and then as long as you work hard, it'll work.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you work hard on it, it'll work for you.
Yeah.
I dig it. Thank you so much for coming by. It was a
Of course.
pleasure to meet both you guys.